My Sephora order just came in. I have been waiting not all day, but all morning, because it is only noon, for this to arrive in the mail. Patrick Ta Beauty just launched their third Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. This one is a hot topic because the last two Major Dimension eyeshadow palettes were huge, and Patrick Ta, in general, his brand is extremely popular. Even I was excited for this despite it being an all matte palette, just because the brand is so well done, so well thought out, so aesthetic. And you know what? Even though matte eyeshadows don't excite me, every time I do an all matte look, I'm like, oh, my makeup looks so good. There is something that's so clean looking about an all matte look. It's so flattering. So I'm excited for this. So you can get this on the Sephora website. It also went into store today. I believe it sold out in 4 hours online at the Patrick Ta website, which is crazy. So this is Patrick Ta. He sells out a lot when he goes viral on TikTok. No pressure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it sold out. But the catch is it's $70. That's a lot of money. So hopefully we can get some really nice quality out of this, and this might become a staple for a lot of you who just need a palette of great basic mattes. So they're also in Patrick Ta style. Is going to be two of a cream formulation that I want to try as eyeliner today. I don't really like these too much as bases for myself personally. So they describe this online as a velvety matte eyeshadow palette that blends warm and cool nudes for ultimate versatility. If you're looking for inspiration, I definitely recommend checking out his website because there's a lot of different looks, because mattes can be uninspiring, but you do get some good inspiration from the different looks created on his website. So the box that it's going to come in is like this. You'll see Major Dimension 3 eyeshadow palette. The palette is made in the USA with globally imported ingredients, vegan, cruelty-free, and a 12-month shelf life. Now this packaging I like because it has this frosted top, which I do think kind of cheapens it, but it also stops the palette from looking really dirty with your fingerprints. So I'm not mad at this at all. And it's very plain. I love this kind of rose gold style packaging. His displays at Sephora always look. Okay, let's look at the actual eyeshadows now. So there is a mirror that I'm not going to show you because I don't want it to reflect. And here are the eyeshadow palettes. So there's 12 colors, 2 of which are cream. And I have to admit, for 12 shades, $70, it's a lot of money. So for me to endorse these eyeshadows, the quality is going to have to be amazing, because you can get a lot of amazing matte palettes like this. So enjoy how untouched and beautiful this looks, because we are going to rate it with our fingers. But you can see we have warm tones over here, cool tones at the bottom, and it's a really great gradient as well. So I think it makes it very intuitive for the user. And for this type of palette, you're most likely going to reach for this palette not to create a whole look. I mean, you're going to do that too. But a lot of times if you just need like a black, if you just need a dark brown, if you just need a highlight shade, you're going to keep this at your desk so that you can grab this when you need a specific matte shade. So it's going to be really versatile in that way. Let's swatch this. So let's start off with the cream shades first. I'm not the biggest fan of the cream shades personally, but I want to test these today as eyeliners. I'm gonna do the black. Ooh, really nice and pigmented. This one might be really great as an eyeliner. And this dark brown. Okay, I like how these feel. We're gonna see if there's a dry down on these. Okay, and then now we're gonna work our way down this way where the warmer tones are. They feel super soft and buttery. So that's a really nice sign. The feeling is honestly very close to the Viseart All Matte palette. Maybe, no, it's definitely softer than the Viseart formula. Let's see how it swatches first before I say too much, but super buttery. A little bit of fallout because of how soft they feel, but not in a bad way. In a way that you're gonna get a lot of color. Wait, do you see how these are swatching really nice? Okay, and then we're gonna get started down on the cool toned row now. So with these fingers, you can see how it's such a soft formula, but you do get some kickback even on the finger pads here, but so soft. So this is the last one of the top row. the deepest shade other than the cream in that top row. Wow, very pigmented for that white shade. Then finally, let's get into the deepest shades. Okay, so we have the brown. Nice. And I like that the black is not too pigmented. And remember, if you need a lot of opacity in the black, that would be what the cream is for. But these are the swatches. Obviously not the most exciting palette to swatch, but I wanted to see how close the mattes were. My concern about these is if they're going to be too close on the eyelid, you know, like are having all of these browns redundant, we're gonna mess around with that today. So I'm gonna do more of a warm brown look for the first eye. And I'm going to test a lot of the colors that are next to each other on the eye to make sure that they have like a purpose in this palette. For $70 for 12 shades, you want to make sure there is a reason for every color being here. So tons of kickback. Going to use this to set underneath. It's not quite brightening. There is a brightening shade that you can use right here, right below if you have my skin tone. It's going to be brightening on medium and deeper skin tones. And then this shade right here has a lot of pigment, but that did a really nice job brightening up the eyebrow. Very powdery. Okay, so let's see this shade. I'm using such a light hand because, yeah, which is going to mean the shadow is going to last less long. You're going to hit pan faster if you use this palette every day, which is an accomplishment for me. I'm not hitting pan on this palette, but if you use it every single day, it's going to be quicker than like the Makeup by Mario, which I feel like is a little bit more hard, like more firmly pressed. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, that's nice. That added a nice subtle shadow. I'm gonna go into the color right next to it to see how these look. Okay, this one is just a wee bit deeper. They don't look like the same color, which is a good sign. With a smaller brush, you guessed it, we're going into the shade right next to it. And okay, so far I'm impressed. So far these all have their own place and they all are blending great, but let's get into the deeper tone to see right here. I'm gonna circle this down here. This has a lot of warmth to it. It's very pretty. I honestly even want to go deeper, so I'm just gonna go straight into this shade. It's a cooler tone brown, but it's going to be a nice addition to this look to really add a more realistic shadow to the eye. It adds more realistic depth because it's cooler toned. I mean, I'll say these kind of blended themselves. Now, I could get a similar look by reducing the number of shadows that I used. I don't need to use all of them in the top row to get this look, but I just needed to make sure all the shades at least looked different. Okay, now we're going back into this original shade, and I'm going to press this all over the eyelid. And an all matte smoky eye is also extremely flattering, so if you put a dark shade all over the eyelid, that's going to look nice. I think I'll have to do that another day and show you guys. But even just that matte on the eyelid, it's so flattering. I do want to see how this really light shade looks right here. Oh, this light shade, I love the pigment level it has. It's perfect for brightening that area. Okay, let's see how the brown does as an eyeliner. You can use this to put all over your eyelid as a base and then put a powder shadow on top, and it's going to be patchless. But I don't really like doing that with these because I find that these don't really dry down that well. We're going to see today how they do as eyeliner. Honestly, these are so pigmented, working out great. At least the brown is working out great as eyeliner. I'm going to set it with a powder over top. but very easy to use. And brown eyeliner is so nice because it's not as harsh as black, but it's going to give that depth to the look. Ooh, I love how that looks. And isn't it so nice with these cream shadows that you have this cover, which is especially important since these are a powdery formula. And then I'm just going to use the darkest brown right here, and I'm going to set right over top. Since these cream shadows don't really set down, the powder is going to set them for us. It's a simple look, but it's so flattering. Let me pop on some concealer and we'll do the lower lash line. And then quickly, lower lash line, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I like that there's no shade names. It's just not necessary. Keeping this on the outer half of my lower lash line. Going in with a smudgy brush, I'm going in with the deepest shade at the top. This shade's quite warm. It definitely adds a lot to the look warmth-wise. And then just a touch of this shade to make it match the top, since this will add that cooler tone to it. Should I put the cream on the waterline? I'm gonna try that. Why not, right? It's probably a lot less irritating than doing powder. So quickly let me make sure a little bit of powder does get on the waterline, because that's gonna help it last longer. Then I am adamant that I have to, this might be my favorite shade in the palette. It's so good. It's gonna be so useful for so many looks. The pigment is incredible. I'm gonna go into this shade next. Like this with some falsies is so nice. It's fabulous for photography. Matte shades never look bad in pictures. Okay, I'm really happy with this. I think off camera, I'm going to extend the cream out here and set it with powder to do an inner corner wing. But let's just go ahead and get into the second eye. Kaleidos Tone Activator is the primer for today. And now we're focusing on the rose down here. We know I love this shade already. I'm just going to highlight underneath the brow. I'm going to start off with this shade. And I'm just going to create a little bit of a shadow. This is quite natural. I feel like this could almost contour the nose if you bring it down here. So I'm going to actually bring it in kind of close. Oh, I like this shade a lot. Okay, next shade. We have a nice mid-toned brown. Got to say, guys, this palette's expensive, $70. But these shades are truly blending themselves out. If you're not a pro with blending, this is going to make your life a whole lot easier. So I'm doing a little bit of a halo eye here today. Then we're going to go back into this shade again on this eye now. Now these two are quite close, but this one definitely does get a little deeper. Oh, I almost bit it on the other eye. But I'm circling this out here. I don't want to bring it in too much. Then I'm going to finish with just a touch of black. Trying not to put too much black here. So I'm just going to dot it and then blend it. And I said these were powdery. I've been using light hand, but I have no fallout on my face. So as long as you tap off the brush, it's not very messy on me, which is nice. Okay, then we're gonna take the favorite child. We're just gonna pop this right in the center, and here you can see exactly how much pigment you get with this shade. And again, for a look like this, it's not necessary to literally go down the whole line to get a blend like this, but you know why I was testing all of them. I'm gonna go into a little bit of this shade and this shade mixed together. And I want more of that taupe to show through, so it's not just all gray. And I'm building up right in the center, the white shade. I just dipped a pencil brush into the powder black because I want a little bit more depth here. I want it to be very, very dimensional. Now into the black cream we go. And I'm going to press this into the lashes. These are working great as eyeliners, and they're a lot easier to use than like liquid liners because all you have to do is stamp them on. I just wiped the cream off this brush. We're going into the matte black. And this black doesn't have a lot of fallout, which is really nice. That helps it from being messy. It makes a lot of sense. This one has almost a drier, clay-like feel to it, which makes it not messy. So that was genius that he formulated the black in this way, because it makes it have a lot less black fallout on your face, which is a makeup ruiner, let me tell you, if your face makeup is done. So, I mean, Patrick Ta is a genius at his craft, so I'm not surprised by that touch. And with the powder over top, do you see how much depth this is giving? Concealer really quickly. Okay, and then lower lash line. We're gonna follow suit to what we did, and we're gonna keep that halo eye. Or you know what? I'm actually gonna keep it really smoky. Changed my mind, so we're not leaving the center bare. Starting off with the taupe shade to add that cool undertone. And then I'm just gonna go straight into this shade. Blend that under. Gonna take a smudgy brush into the black. I'm just gonna hug this close to the lash line. I'm definitely gonna go in with a shimmer highlight here because I would like some glow on the face. I'm gonna soften this out. Then we're gonna sneak in a little bit of brightness here. This is reminding me a lot of what I love about my Viseart shades, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and then we'll see the whole jazz put together. I put on a pitiful pair of lashes because I'm actually gonna do another look after this just to mess around some more, but I love this palette. So comparing it, you guys wanted to know, of course, to the Makeup by Mario, because Makeup by Mario brand is almost like identical to what Patrick Ta has. They are very, very similar in the items that they have. And Mario did it first with the all matte palette, and this was super trendy, super viral. So everybody's like, how does the Patrick Ta compare to the Makeup by Mario? And honestly, when the Makeup by Mario launched, it was fine for me. I liked it, but I did say I much prefer the Viseart formula, which is more expensive, but I just felt like I got better quality in the mattes. The Patrick Ta quality reminds me more of the Viseart application in that they blend themselves. They're a little bit softer of a formula. I would say Makeup by Mario has a harder press, but these remind me a lot of Viseart applications since they pretty much do the work for you blending wise. So quality, for my preferences, I prefer the Patrick Ta. However, if you don't like a really soft formula, you still might be more partial to the Makeup by Mario. I did do swatch by swatch comparisons, and there's pretty much the exact same colors minus the cream shades that the Makeup by Mario doesn't have. The only shade that wasn't in the Makeup by Mario is a really good taupey color. Like, these are very, very cool toned. The Makeup by Mario leans more warm. So the top of my arm are the Patrick Ta swatches, and the bottom is the Makeup by Mario. Virtually the same colors. Like I said, we're missing this like pinky taupe, but yeah, same colors pretty much. There is also a pretty big price difference between the two. Makeup by Mario is $50. Patrick Ta is $70. Patrick Ta is about the same price as Viseart, though you can get the Viseart shadows at like $40, I think. There's just really, really small amounts of formula. Just depends what you're interested in. I would say, though, I prefer definitely the Patrick Ta over the Makeup by Mario, but they have the same colors. So you make up your mind on that. Overall, it's a matte palette. The color story isn't necessarily exciting, but these do have great basic shades, especially if you don't have a large eyeshadow collection like this crazy girl on screen right here. And you're getting good basic, easy to blend mattes that you're going to use pretty much every day when you do your eyeshadow. So I'm really happy with this. She's pricey. Maybe wait for the Sephora sale, but I do think for $70, I don't want to say the eyeshadow is worth it at $70, but this definitely represents $70 quality. I do not feel like I wasted my money on this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it helpful. I'm going to continue playing with this. It will eventually end up in palette rankings videos, so you will hear a lot about this palette in the future. I already have video ideas that I know it's going to end up showing up in. So if you've tried this palette, let me know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.